Jason Tiedick, and I'm going to show you today A to Z how to create an amazing presentation that gets your audience to want to listen to you and not stop until the end. What I'm going to teach you today is how to change your behavior with your presentations to get them to crave what you have to say. In order to do it, I'd like to introduce you to Brad. So Brad's actually going to join me now. And Brad, I'm going to have you just share with them what your name is, what your role is, and what we did together real quick. Just summarize it in your own words.
Sure. My name is Brad Griesiak, and I'm CEO of BendyWorks. We're a software consultancy. And what we worked on together was a few sessions where we took apart what I thought was a good presentation, broke it down into its meaty parts, and then built it back up into a fantastic result, I think.
The hook. Write this down. Takeaways tell them what they're going to get from you. The hook tells them why they'd want it. Brad is only coming up with his takeaways. Now what we're going to need to do is come up with the hook. But before we do, listen to Brad's title. So I asked Brad, same thing question here. After the entire presentation, what should the audience be able to do when they're done? And Brad, after another 2 hours, he comes up with this. Go ahead and read to them this new title.
Sure. Simplifying challenging software problems with rocket science.
Whoa. Now let me ask you, which presentation would you rather attend? Simplify challenging software problems with rocket science, or what was the other one again?
Using Ruby to simulate.
Use Ruby to simulate physical phenomenon. Which one would you rather have? You guys are literally laughing right now. Why are you laughing?
It's such an improvement.
It's such an improvement. Why is this whole simplify challenging software problems with rocket science, why is it better? Now we're going to figure out why they'd want it. Make a note, this is on page 23. This is single-handedly the most powerful thing you're going to learn in this chapter is figuring out the whys, the hooks, the emotional reasons why they want your presentation. I'm going to give you a recipe to do this, and then I'm going to model with Brad again how we did it for him. Now we're going to learn how to create how they'd want it. That's the mystery. When Brad suggests to them how he's going to give it to them, they'll be hooked. They're going to say, oh my gosh, I have to have this. It's going to make me happy, more successful, and free. And he's going to tell it to me. He's teeing up this mystery. I got to stay for this presentation because I want to know how he did this. Now, this is so amazing. On page 28, there's a table with a recipe of how to do this. He said to me, what should I have in front of me? Because I wrote out my whole presentation. Do you want to see it, Jason? This is her first coaching session with me. So I looked at it, and it is 10 pages long. And it's everything she's going to say. She literally wrote out word for word everything she's going to say. Now I call that, you should make a note of this, I call that a script. And I'm going to teach you today how to never write one of these again. Instead, I'm going to suggest that you write what's called a blueprint. Now, what's the difference? The script has primarily everything you're going to say on it. You might not have every word, but when you're going to look down, you'd have to read it. You have to read it to remember what to say. The blueprint doesn't have that at all. The blueprint only has the nuggets that if a quick glance, you know what to say for the next 2 to 3 minutes. You've built your tasks, you got your subtasks, you built all this out in a blueprint, but now you want to solve the mysteries, and the greatest way to solve the mysteries, Brad, is through a what? An example. Examples are what people can use. Let me give you an example of an example. By the way, did you notice how that was going to be cool for you? She's like, what do you mean example? I'm going to give you an example. Now you know, it's going to be an example. Here's what this looks like. Let's imagine I told you, it's really important when you speak, here's my subtask, to be very clear and concise. That's my subtask, be clear and concise. And Brad says to me, well, Jason, are they going to know how to do that? And I'm probably not. So let's do a subtask. It's important that you remove all your fillers when you speak. And Brad says to me, are they going to know how to do that? I'm like, probably not. Unless I give them a what? An example. You guys know what the top 10 fillers are that people use in their presentations that totally make you sound uncredible? Shout some out. Well, like, what else? So, okay, all right. So, here's the question. I just used one. If I just say those to you, do you know what to do now? Do you know how to get rid of them? No. So I really haven't given you an example, have I? I've just given you theory. Just theoretical fluff. Get rid of your uhs. Get rid of your ums. Get rid of your so's. But what if I give you an actual example by saying this to you? Take all of your fillers, this is another sub-task, and replace them with a half-second pause. Let me give you an example. Here comes a real example. It's really important to go outside and enjoy the fresh air. It makes us feel good. How do I get rid of the I replace it with a what? Half-second pause. And here it sounds. It's really important to go outside and enjoy the fresh air. It makes us feel good. Hear the difference? Do you see how the example is now actionable? You can actually do something with my presentation now. You can take what I just taught you and you can apply it in your life with that example. What you need to do, just like we did with our message, is get an emotional reason why people need to listen to you, and the same applies for pictures. Now, this entire third chapter on mapping out your message, we are actually going to spend the whole section on just the words that you put on your slideshow and not the pictures. We'll get to the pictures in the last chapter of this program. But the words you put on there are so important. Those aren't real people. And things that aren't real are not as emotional as things that are. Every single picture I've shown you in this presentation are real pictures. Look at all these pictures that we have. Look at this one. This is actually the slide for this chapter. Look at the difference between this slide and the other one. This one actually has real pictures of a real artist's paint and what they're starting to paint with it. It's very, very emotional when you think about creating a presentation to look at this. I'm going to read to you the awesome one words he just used that developers love. Ready? Let's read them alternatively.
Sure.
Ready? I'll read the first one. Simplify.
Rising,
Controller.
divide and conquer,
And solve. Now, how does this picture show simplify? Well, look how simple the picture is. How does it show rising? I mean, I think that's pretty obvious. How does it show controller? I mean, this is literally a picture of something involving rocket science, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what you want to do, this is my favorite part, is you take your hook, your main hook, you underline the keywords that are emotional, rising, simplify, controller, and then you search in Google with those words. And that's how Brad came up with this. That's how you do it.